CS3 comes in their new, new case, we'll say. It's, fabric. It's the same kind of like dimensions. It's probably, I guess it's softer. The old previous cases were aluminum. I was looking around to see if I had a case. So yeah, it comes in there. We'll switch this camera and then we're gonna look straight down on the thing. Yes, there it is right there. So like I said, new case. I'm gonna move my mouse over and maybe I'll let's get a tech mat. Let's put that down. It makes it a little bit easier to see, we'll say. So I've never actually owned, personally, played with one of these things. I've always kind of had other guns. I've played with, we'll say, the CS1, CS2 and those, and this. But never, we'll say, chose or decided to actually, keep and own one forever. So you're going to get, normal things that all these Planet Eclipse guns come with. Grease. It's actually coming with 2 bolt faces. You're going to get a Venturi bolt right there. You can kind of see the little cuts in the face that makes it Venturi. Their new S63 barrel back, 689 barrel insert piece right there. It's just kind of hard to get out of there. I'll just leave it there. Insert 6.9. What insert size is that? I don't know. It comes with a bigger insert. Barrel tip. Spare parts kit. Always really like these spare parts kits. They're really big. Look at how fat and chunky the parts kit is. Barrel cover, manual, paintball gun. So yeah, that's what I did. I went with. There was. Gosh, what color was this gun? I think silver and. I don't remember what color we got this silver one from, but. Either way, part swapped, so I have a black and silver CS3. So one of the things that I kind of thought about these, and I think everyone sort of thought about, let's put that, I don't know, let's put this here. One thing I thought about is, it kind of looks the same, right? I mean, it kind of has CS3 body. So it doesn't have or I should say CS2 body. It's kind of, CS2-ish. If you covered that up, it'd be kind of hard to tell what gun it was. So it's not strikingly different from the outside, but they definitely have changed that bolt. There's added 50% more volume to that new, I'm gonna move some stuff around, 50% more volume to the Gamma core. Their new Gamma core they call the OP core, which is good. And shooting them, I don't know if it's all that much different. I think that they shoot fairly similarly. These might be a little bit quieter and a little bit softer on paint, but from using it, I don't know. I don't really notice the difference between this thing shooting and the CS2. I kind of talked about that bolt. That one of the neat things, the actual bolt, one of the neat things they're kind of doing, you can see this camera is not on autofocus, so it's not actually going to focus, but you can kind of see that the face of that bolt is pretty much completely open, except for those 3 little rubber teeth things. Those just help the bolt kind of set back, so when the bolt accelerates, it has a little bit of piece of rubber to touch rather than just solid metal. Also are coming with that Venturi bolt, just like that open face. So the Venturi one, you can see, it's still hard to see, but it has some more cuts. There you go. You can kind of see that when the air going to travel through there, it's going to break up the air a little bit. So these bolts, that style bolt is technically a little bit lower flow. So technically you might have to increase the pressures a little bit, but probably not. That bolt is going to be a little bit, technically higher flowing. These might be a little bit better if you have brittle paint problems, because it's kind of distributing that air maybe a little bit more evenly than that open face. I don't know if anyone's actually done a lot of testing with these newer guns to make sure that that's still the case, but that used to be what it was like, a really long time ago when we were all shooting autocockers and auto mags, stuff like that. Bam. One of the things I kind of like about these though is they have changed up that grip frame. if you've got, you're familiar with, we'll say the CS1, CS2, or that Geo4, it's going to be a little bit wider on this back area. So I like how they kind of like narrowed that up a little bit. It kind of reminds me a little bit more of my eMech. It's a little bit smaller. So I actually think that the ergonomics are a little improved too, because making that smaller, and they actually moved the trigger frame back like little bits. So it might feel a little bit longer. The CS3. Those are kind of all the things. I think that one of the cooler parts about the new Eclipse guns, it might be a little bit hard to see with this sticker still on there, but there's a little notch on that feed neck lever right there. You can definitely kind of see that little notch right in the middle of the lever, and it kind of slots right into a little notch or a little cutout on the feed neck, so the lever won't like move around and stuff. I really like that. It's not like the most revolutionary thing, having a little, I don't know, dealio on their feed neck, but I like it. I think that, I'm gonna turn this light back off. Hopefully I hit the right button. There we go. I really like this. I think that, yeah, it's a definite improvement to the CS2. I don't know if it's like a dramatic, super crazy difference, but I really like them. The mechanical frame should be out pretty soon for these. One of the neat things about that mechanical frame, one of the reasons there's been a bit of a delay, I'll turn that light back on, is because on the previous mechanical frame for the CS2, it just took a normal trigger, right? So it had just a normal trigger. And one of the neat things about a lot of the new Planet Eclipse guns is they have that like rake or like reach adjustment. So you can actually change the angle of that trigger completely. So you could, pretty much keep it flat like that, or you can adjust it so it's got like a crazy angle. So you got to kind of like pull the trigger a little bit funky angle. They're adding that feature to that mechanical frame, which is pretty cool. It just makes it a little bit more unique comparatively to the other mechanical frames. And what I really like about the new mech frame is coming with the grips and a regulator. So you can just pop off the frame and put the mechanical frame on. You don't have to like change a bunch of stuff around. So that mechanical frame, it's pretty cool and should be out. We're hoping pretty soon. I think that maybe a couple months. I don't know. I don't know an exact date on that thing. It was supposed to be out about right now, but making that trigger change, making that like, reach or rake adjustment or whatever we're calling that, took a little bit of time. They decided to just change it up. The CS3. I will have a full review on this thing coming up. I played with it twice. We're going to go play Sunday. I did like a little Jack Wood interview thing about this. It's going to be in that video. I first got this and it didn't work. We got to the paintball field and it just leaked like crazy right out of the ASA. So I kind of was like, it leaked right there. So one of the things that I thought was wrong was there's actually a seal between the pops on-off body and this trigger frame. There's like a seal right there. So I thought that was bad. So we take it off, look at the seal, put it back on, gun starts working. 2 hours later, take the tank off, put the tank back on, and have the exact same problems. So we found out that there's two O-rings on the regulator body. That upper sized one is actually a 1/16. It's a very common, or it's just a 16 O-ring, I should say. It's a very common O-ring, not a 1/16. How about a 0/16? It's a common O-ring. And it's a little bit too small. So you have to put on a 14x2 O-ring. So that's definitely a problem with that thing. Right out of the box, it didn't work for me. I don't think that it's like, it's not a problem really. You just got to change an O-ring. But, that kind of sucks to have a, brand new, $1,700 paintball gun. You get to the paintball field and it just didn't work right. So